If you got a laser engraver, here are the 10 best ways to make money with it. So out of all these projects, we're gonna start off making the easiest ones. Because why not? And I really like this project because you can get the materials all for free. So these are just pieces of pallet wood, and you probably guessed it, we're just making a sign. And recently, pallet wood has definitely made a comeback. People love to make all sorts of weird projects with this, myself included. Check out this video, it's a good one. But not only is the material free, it's super easy to get. Everyone's driven by businesses and then just seen piles of this stuff with a big free sign on it. So making money out of free stuff, I mean, come on. Well, we're gonna go ahead and make a sign out of this stuff. These pieces that I got here are pretty weathered, so what I'm gonna do with this is just kind of sand it down, get rid of all that weathered, and again, go with the style that you want. You really don't have to sand it at all. We all know sanding sucks. But anyways, just a little bit of sanding, you can see how much lighter this board is compared to the original weathered ones. And this is gonna help your sign pop a lot. You're gonna be able to see that burnt laser engraving on it a lot better than you would this darker wood. Now, if you wanna be a professional, you can go ahead and joint all these boards and glue them together. That'd probably make it look a lot nicer. But I'm not a professional. So what I'm gonna do is just cut up some other pieces of pallet wood into some thin strips, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use that as a backer thing. Whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to put it on the back side of the pallet wood and then go ahead and nail it in. It's a sign, it doesn't have to be super stable. So that was easy enough, huh? And then we're going to go ahead and jump on Lightburn to get our design ready. One thing that I always do is get a test piece before I start and then do Lightburn's material testing feature just to kind of narrow down what type of burn I want. And that way you can expect what you're going to get, and then you're not just going to burn this whole thing and then realize that you don't like it. So one really cool thing about Longer is that you can buy an extension kit for it. You can see here I have a massive 850 millimeter by 850 millimeter area that I can work with. This is gonna be really awesome for a lot of my projects. And it's also a great opportunity for you guys to hit that subscribe button so you can see all those. Well, we got this thing all set up, so let's burn. So here it is. Pretty cool sign. I could probably even add some more up here if I really wanted to. I made a different one and went ahead and put some greenery around it, make it a little bit more fancy. And yeah, these signs super easy, awesome to customize. So let's see what else we got. All right, want to take a guess what we're doing next? One of the coolest thing that these laser engravers can do is laser engrave on leather. I know you've definitely seen these hats around. Every good country boy's got one. They're getting super popular, but don't let your imagination just stop at the hats. Since we can laser engrave on any leather, you can go ahead and make purses, wallets. Well, I guess that's all my imagination can go. But these hats are definitely gonna be your biggest moneymaker. So I know I love these hats, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and make my own. And since this leather is a new material for me, I'm gonna go ahead and do some tests on it. I went ahead on Lightburn and did material testing with a range that I thought was appropriate. And from there, I just picked out which burn that I liked the best, and I just sent it. So, pretty sweet. Now I am just gonna end up cutting this out with a piece of scissors to make that into that square for my hat. And if you're lazy, I have seen people be able to cut through leather with their Lightburn. That way you can just cut them out to that perfect square right away. So another really cool thing you can do with this Lightburn is burn leather. And honestly, this is probably gonna be your biggest moneymaker out of all of these. So pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. This next one's special because it's for...
This one's for the ladies.
So one of the really cool things about the Longer laser engraver is that you can even engrave on metal, which means you can make fun things like jewelry. So if you haven't figured it out, I'm not the jewelry expert. I don't make a lot of jewelry. I don't even wear a lot of jewelry. I don't wear any jewelry. But I did make this necklace for a friend, and the results are pretty sweet. You can scroll through Etsy and see all this customized jewelry, and they can get pretty pricey. All I did was buy this necklace and little metal piece on the bottom. I think I spent a total of like $1.50 on it, and I was able to laser engrave my personal design onto it. And this is just one example of what you can do. There's so many different jewelry options out there. But one of the cool things I did see is one of these laser engraved wood earring things. It's definitely not my style, but hey, if I could easily cut them out and sell them for that much, it just might be. But I do gotta say there is one downfall to stuff like this. Laser engraving materials this small can definitely be a little nitpickety. But if you can figure it out, make a jig where you get really good at laser engraving these really small pieces, you can be super efficient and you can make quite a bit of money. But one thing I do have to say is you don't gotta worry about this fine detail. Longer's super accurate. I mean, you can just look at this piece. So yeah, jewelry, not my forte, but if you can make money, all right, what else can we make money on? So our next project is gonna be some coasters. And yes, the laser engraver could easily make some wooden coasters with a cool laser burnt design in them. But where I think the real money is are these really cool slate ones. I mean, how cool. So definitely one of the coolest things that this laser can do is burn stone. I mean, who else can say that they can do that?
Not me.
And these slate coasters are awesome because if you get them wet, which every coaster gets wet, it doesn't get all mushy and fall apart. These are gonna last forever. These make really good gifts and you can get really creative with the design. But you can do a lot more than just engrave a design. You can also play around with the texture. If you take a look at my testing feature here, you can see that you can use the laser on a higher speed and lower power and you'll get a lighter color burn. And when you increase the power and slow it up, it gives it a golden tint. And if you increase the power all the way to 100% and turn it down real low, you can even alter the texture, giving it more of a grainy type feel. That's gonna be awesome to play around with your design. You can use that grainier, heavier texture for maybe foam on top of a beer. Actually, that's my idea, don't take that. But definitely one of my favorites in the bunch. I really like this one. But let's see what else we got. So this next one is probably the coolest out of all of them. With these laser engravers, you can do your own personalized tumbler mugs. These are super awesome. I mean, people get them for wedding gifts, Christmas gifts. I mean, you just see them in stores all the time. Really, really cool. This one is a Yeti mug that was made for me. I didn't personally do this one, but I do know that it's laser engraved. One thing that you do need for this project is one of these roller devices. It's gonna roll your cup so that you can get an even burn throughout it. But it's honestly not that much of a cost in the grand scheme of things. If you're looking for a setup like this, go ahead and look at the link in the description below. I'm gonna have a link with all the accessories that Longer has, and you can go ahead and shop through that stuff. They got a lot of really cool stuff. But the main reason I love these things so much that you don't gotta worry about vinyl peeling off in the dishwasher, because all that vinyl stuff is not dishwasher safe. It will come off in the dishwasher. I mean, who's gonna wash this thing by hand? Not me. And you don't gotta worry about fuddling around with all that epoxy, trying to make one of those epoxy mugs. This is just laser engraved right onto the stainless steel. You can mess around with different speeds and strengths to get different designs and colors on this thing. I mean, really awesome. These things last forever. And I mean, yeah, again, you're not wasting money on epoxy or any other materials. You're just light burning it. Besides the cup, you're doing it for free. Think of all that profit.
That's a 50% profit.
And that's why this might be one of my favorite items that I'm showing you today. Really awesome. I hope you guys check it out. Here are some examples of some other ones that I just snagged online. Yeah, check it out. But how else can we make money? One of the coolest things about the Longer laser engraver is that you're not limited to a couple types of materials. Longer's got a long list of different materials that you can go ahead and laser engrave. And I bet you there's still a lot more than just that. But one of the coolest things I think that you can laser engrave are these pieces of acrylic. And with this 10-watt Longer laser, I'm able to cut up to 30 millimeters. That's crazy. I don't think I'll ever need to cut that much acrylic, but it is super nice to cut out this 3 and 5 millimeter acrylic. Now you might be wondering why I even want to do that. Well, you can make really cool things like this, but I bought this so I can make my own bow tie template. If you have a laser engraver, you probably dabble in woodworking a little bit, and you know that these templates are insanely expensive. So I went ahead and bought some acrylic, and I'm just gonna end up making my own. But in woodworking, these acrylic templates range from charcuterie board template to even some really cool table-like template. A lot of the templates that I use, I just end up using 1/4-inch plywood, which the Longer has no problem just cutting through that. But for some templates where it would be super nice to be able to see through them, acrylic is great. So whether you're making stuff for yourself or if you want to make a bunch of profit like these guys, making acrylic templates would be great if you want to make some extra money, and you can think of some really cool designs that other woodworkers might want to use. The only downfall is that acrylic can be really expensive, and that's probably why the prices are a lot more. But the more you get into it, the more you can sell it for, and the more profit. So this next one's super different, but I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, how fun! Yay!
So these laser engravers do a great job at cutting out pieces of little plywood. I mean, even thicker plywood, it does a good job. But one of the coolest things that you can do with this thinner piece of plywood is make some of these crazy 3D art puzzles. I'm not sure what the market is on these, but I think they're a pretty fun and cool idea. You make stuff from deer mounts to race cars, pretty much anything you can think of. And these things can get super intricate. I'm not sure how much material you need for something like that, but it's a lot more than this. Projects don't stop at just these 3D cool puzzles. You can make things from beer caddies to storage containers cleaners, which is what I need to do because my shop's a mess. There's some websites with a bunch of free different designs and ideas that you can just go ahead and take. And you can cut them out and sell them. A lot of people have a lot of fun putting these things together. And I know this probably isn't the biggest market, but I thought it was a really cool, fun thing that this laser can do. So let's see what else we got. Our next project is gonna be some cutting boards. So I'm sure a lot of you dabble in woodworking, but those who don't shouldn't be scared when I bring this up. This right here is just a piece of maple. There's pretty much no work done to it. And it's not that hard to buy a $20 jigsaw and cut a handle out for it. But the cool thing you can do with the laser engraver is make it personal. Doing personalized cutting boards where you're laser engraving people's names on them, or some really cool designs can make you a lot of money. Not only that, but you can mess with the settings of the laser engraver and not only engrave it, but actually make a slight indent in your wood. That could allow you to pour some resin in there and really make something cool. There's a lot of neat ideas that you can do with a cutting board and a laser engraver, but if you're good at two things like woodworking and you got a laser engraver, some really cool things can happen. So this next one's gonna be really close to the first one, but it's not, trust me. This one is gonna be some cutout sign. I know this doesn't look all that impressive, but you can make some really cool things like this. This is just some 3mm plywood. You can also use MDF, but these lasers are crazy efficient at cutting this stuff out. This was done about 500mm a minute and 100% power. Just one pass, it cuts through it like butter. And honestly, I like these signs a lot more than just the original burnt one. These things really make your sign pop with these standout letters, and the ability to layer these signs make it really pop out and cool. And you can end up making a lot of stuff. And a neat trick, once you got your cutout, you also got a free stencil. This way. So I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up with a project that I actually don't recommend. I thought this looked really cool, and I thought it'd be a fun idea. These metal business cards. So just looking at this thing, I mean, it's really sweet. I mean, I do think it's cool. The main reason I don't like them is because they're super flimsy. I don't think it would cut you, but they're a little sharp on the edge, and you can bend them super easily. And then once you bend them, kind of junk. Not only that, but it takes a long time to engrave metal. Well, for a 10-watt laser anyway. You can get bigger industrial lasers, but you're gonna pay the price on that one. So here's my laser running at actual speed. I was running at 300mm a minute, and to carve out just this 2-inch piece, it got close to an hour. Now I'm not trying to say don't engrave metal at all, because you can make some really cool things like flasks and those tumblers that we talked about earlier. But spending this much time on a little flimsy card, I just don't see there being very much profit in this. Because honestly, to make the profit, you're gonna have to sell these for quite a bit. And I don't think people are gonna buy these for much. But for your engraving business, making some of these, that might be pretty cool. But you're just not gonna make a profit on them. So that's the video. Make sure you guys check the description to check out this longer laser. They're pretty cheap and you can see that you can make a lot of really cool stuff. So until next time, grab a beer and build something.